Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well, and welcome aboard another of my classic reviews. The occasional series here on the Mr. Fly where I get to ride some of the most exciting bikes of the last 20 years to see how they stack up against the modern day weaponry that I ride on the channel. And today I'm riding a bike that is very much a legendary machine as far as I'm concerned. It's the Yamaha VMAX, a bike that personally I find a little bit intimidating. Stick around and stay tuned, I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright, so welcome aboard the VMAX. This is the first time I've ridden one of these. I've always been a little bit intimidated by them, as I say, partly because of the fact that it's called a VMAX. More about that in a second. But also it is sort of a legendary bike. It's a sort of a muscle bike, if you like, muscle bike come cruiser. First out in the US, would you believe, in 1985. We didn't get it in the UK in its full fat form until something like 1995. We had it before then in a watered down version, but this is the full fat version. The one I'm riding is a 2008 model, and it is an absolute beast. Before we get too carried away about what it's like to ride though, let me show you around the bike, show you what it looks like, some of the design features. Okay, so let me show you this beast then, and some of the little features and design touches on this bike. Let's start off with the thing that's kind of obvious with this bike, I guess. These massive air scoops on the front here that ram air straight into the airbox at the side. You've got one of those on both sides. It looks kind of Ducati Diavel-esque, doesn't it? In fact, I guess the Diavel copied this because this came way before the Diavel. And in fact, it's the Diavel that is sort of credited with finishing this bike off, because that came out and this one kind of, you know, lost sales to the Diavel, and then they stopped making this in, I think it was 2015. But quite a bike. I mean, it's got a sort of a cruiser stance, yet the pegs are in the middle, which is fine with me because I hate feet forward pegs. You can see this massive V4 configuration engine here as well, which looks great. Got lovely chrome pipes on the side that sound absolutely amazing. You've got one on either side of this, which I love, so it satisfies my symmetry OCD. Paintwork on this is lovely, deep and lustrous on here, like bikes used to be. I love this as well, the way they've got the red around the VMAX. The seat is beautifully comfortable. And check out this, I guess this is a custom paint job, I don't know, but I can't imagine this came as standard on the bike, but it's pretty lovely. And here's the dials and instrumentation on here, which I really like. I mean, look at this proper old school dial, just a you know, speedo with proper Odo on it. It's only done 5,500 miles, this one, look, but barely run in basically. And then down here you got this excellent little instrument binnacle with your idiot lights, your rev gauge and your temperature gauge. Love that. No fuel gauge, although there is a fuel light, and amusingly to me it's got a reserve button for the fuel as well if you do run out of fuel, which I love. Nothing complicated about the switchgear though. It feels like it's hewn out of solid metal, very good quality. Mirrors on here are beautiful as well, lovely chrome, nice and sturdy, great view out of those. I love that they've got this sort of spring arrangement around. Don't know what it does, but it looks cool. I just think it's a cool beast. I mean, it is of its time. Radiator's ugly, no doubt about that, but yeah, an unusual and nice looking beast, I think. Right, enough chatting, let's get back on and see what she's like to ride. Okay, welcome back aboard the mighty VMAX. What's it like to ride then? Well, I've got to be a little bit careful because it's quite damp on the roads. I'm recording this on a very cold day. It's about 4 degrees centigrade out here at the moment. There's still a little bit of frost on the cards when I left, and this is a bike that is super old school, entirely mechanical, very analog, no ABS, no traction control, nothing like that. A little bit steamy in the helmet. I hope you can hear me okay with the visor up. So yeah, so I'm taking it a bit easy because it has got bags of torque and bags of grunt, this bike, not to be messed with on messy roads. Anyway, let's go about this in the normal way and tell you what it's like to ride. So first off, comfort. Well, very, very comfortable machine indeed. Seat is massive and hugely padded on here. Really comfy place to stick your bum. Handlebars really narrow though. Possibly the narrowest handlebars I've ever ridden with on a bike. And because it's quite a heavy bike and it's fairly raked out, that means cornering is somewhat different to what I'm used to. You have to kind of take it a bit carefully. And as I've not ridden this bike very much, this is literally my first ride, I don't want to take any chances. Now this bike, of course, is known for its shove, hence the name VMAX. And to me that sounds like an aviation term. In aviation we have lots of what I call V-speed, so VNE for example is velocity never exceeded. That's the point at which if you go faster than that in an aeroplane, the wings come off. So you pay a lot of attention to VNE, it's marked on your airspeed indicator. VMAX is basically your fastest cruise speed, and I assume that's where this gets its name from. Talking of fast cruising, look at this cyclist up ahead. I'm doing 40 down here, and he's freewheeling and staying ahead of me. Brilliant. I have confidence I'm going to overtake him though when we turn, if he goes the same way as me. So yeah, so that's where I think the word or the name VMAX comes from. I may be wrong, and I'm sure somebody will correct me if I am. But what this is all about is the punch, so let's just see what it's like on this road. Let's hunker down a bit. V4 engine, man, it absolutely flies. Woo! Okay, that's quite enough. Quickly up to silly speeds, we'll say no more. Wow, what an engine, what a bike. Whoa, I'm a bit shocked after that. Brilliant. So yeah, there's no doubt it can go. Now this has got a V4 engine in it, which makes it actually lovely and smooth. It sounds epic, as hopefully you can hear through the mic. It sounds great to me. And it reminds me, riding this, it's a bit like, if you could imagine what riding a smooth Harley Davidson would be like, that's kind of what this is like. This is, as I say, an old bike, 14 years old now, but it is lovely to ride, beautifully smooth. This one's not fuel injected, it's carbureted, it's got, it's properly old school, as I say. It's got a choke. When I started it, I had to let it warm up on the choke. Brilliant stuff. It's even got a switch here, look, on the right hand side for the reserve tank. I love that. Nothing complicated about this bike at all. Proper old school biking, and I love it for that. Yeah, really nice. It's one of these grin inducing machines, like Harleys are. People that don't get Harley Davidsons and bikes like this, cruisers with big engines, don't understand what they're about. Although this one's called a VMAX and it's all about the thrust of the engine, this is about cruising along, knowing that you've got all that power and torque, even from low down. Just flies whenever you want it, and it puts a big grin on your face. That's what they're all about. It's just a lovely thing to ride. Anyway, before we get more into what it's like to ride, let me talk you through the specs on this bike. Alright, let's talk numbers then and go through the specification on the machine, which I've written down as so I don't forget anything. Let's start with the engine, the main affair on here, this whopping great V4 configuration engine. This actually, on this second generation machine, is 1679cc, putting out a whopping 197 brake horsepower. For context, it's got the same power on tap as a Ducati Desmo Sedici RR Moto GP replica, but at 4,000 RPM less. Absolutely incredible. Down the front here, we've got these pretty massive forks. These are 52mm upside down forks, and we've got twin discs here as well. Beautiful wheels on here. Unusual design with this sort of steel plate that's been cut out, quite like that. Weight of this bike is a whopping 310 kilograms, but it does hold it quite low. It doesn't feel heavy to move particularly, but it is a heavy old lump. The seat on here, I'm glad to say, is a really low 775mm, so you can get your feet on the deck very, very easily. And just look at the size of that. Comfy for both rider and pillion. The tank capacity, 15 litres, which seems really small, so I don't expect that to last very long. What else to say about this? When these were new, they were incredibly £20,000, so very much a rich man's motorcycle at the time. This one though, you can get from Superbike Factory for £8,987, so and I don't suppose it's going to lose any more money, so probably an investment now. But we'll look at that thing, what an absolutely incredible beast. All right, there we go. Let's jump back on, ride us some more. All right, welcome back aboard then. What are the other things about this bike? What's the suspension like? Well, it feels lovely to me. It's not bone jarring. Lovely and comfortable ride on here. You could ride on here together with that soft seat. You could ride on here for hours on end and be under no fatigue. I'll be very happy to go touring on this. Let me just try the brakes. Nothing behind. Front brake feels fine. Back brake is okay. Not amazing brakes. You have to give them quite a shove, it has to be said. Looks like hard work. But they're quite progressive, they're certainly not grabby. But again, you've got to be a little bit careful on these damp roads when there's potentially still ice patches around. But yeah, the brakes are fine. The gearbox on here actually is lovely and smooth. There's no problem with forced neutrals or finding neutral, it's been fine. And the gear changes are lovely. What I would say is the clutch is really heavy. Reminds me of my Panigale. You're going to build massive muscles in your left hand fingers, which is good because I could do with building those up to match the right hand. Yeah, the clutch takes no prisoners. This is one of those bikes that Feels like it's hewn out of a solid block of metal, built by big burly blokes with spanners in a factory with red hot bits of metal and hammers and stuff. Properly engineered this. Nothing about this feels wimpy. What I love about it is there's no plastic around. It's just proper old school, proper dials. Love that single dial. Love the instrumentation and the idiot lights down here. The lights even look like they're out of a Spitfire or something. Proper bike this. Yeah, a real Sunday morning pleaser machine this, which is appropriate because it is a Sunday morning when I'm recording this. Absolutely cracking bike. If you're interested in it, then at the time of recording this, I'm recording this back end of February, may well be sold by now, but this bike is for sale at Superbike Factory, channel sponsors. I'll put the price on the screen, I can't remember. Quite hard to find these days. Anyway, what's going on here? Oh my word. I've nothing against cyclists, but when they're in these pelotons taking up loads of space, it's a real nuisance. Right, thank you folks. Thank you. Right, where were we? Yes. So it may well still be for sale. Check them out if you're interested in this. They're quite hard to find, but Superbike Factory has over 2,000 used bikes, would you believe? Largest UK second-hand retailer. They have all sorts of models. Go and check their website out. Links below to their website. You name the bike, they've got it, and it's great that they give me access to their fleet so that I can ride some of these, what I'm calling classic bikes. Now I know there's a lot of debate about what makes a classic bike. To me it's classic if they were out before I was riding bikes. I learned to ride in 2012, so this one definitely qualifies as a classic in my mind. But I'm sorry if you don't regard it as such, but I certainly do. Anyway, that's basically it for my first ride review on the awesome Yamaha VMAX. What a bike it is. Really love it. If I had room in the garage, I would definitely buy this. It's just a grin-inducing machine, and I thoroughly recommend them to the house. Ah, traffic. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Do hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, because there'll be loads more of these classic style reviews coming along, as well as my usual reviews of brand new bikes, the latest and greatest on the market. And hopefully soon some trips and tours at home and abroad, bits and pieces on how to look after your bike in the garage, monthly bike news and lots more besides. It'd be great to have you along. Alright, I'm going to enjoy riding this bike for a bit longer and look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio. Right, so let's take a look at this beast, shall we? And hope you can hear me okay. I forgot to bring my mics out this time. Oops. Anyway, let's do that again. Adjustable, but I can't see where. Maybe they're not on this particular model. Maybe it's the rear only. Now, here's the rear. We've got these... oh, yeah. So we've got adjustable... let's do that again. That can't be right. Let's do it again.